Planning events with people is one of the hardest things I have ever experienced in my entire life. It's one of the most stressful of things to possibly imagine, one of the hardest things to simply process, and as someone who benefits from simply communicating with others, I find it insulting, but at the same time, invigorous to be able to spend time with people, and when those plans are met, it creates one of the greatest experiences of my life. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 separate stories in which I planned a certain event with either someone or a group of people. For this video, I'm going to analyze what I've learned in these experiences, and in particular, I want to address the main issue, why people simply don't follow up with plans. Let's start with the first story. There was this girl, let's call her Ellie. She's this really sweet girl I had a super fun experience with. It was an experience where we met at a college tour, and I felt it was one of those where I learned so much about her from like the moment we started talking. It was in the manner of mere hours, but I learned a lot about her, notably her music tastes as well as just her favorite things like being one of the biggest Radiohead fans and doing excellent drawings of anime characters. What I liked about this experience and why I want to illustrate this with this video is the topic of time. Even when you're in high school, I do suggest you spend your time of high school relatively well. We don't want it to be a period in which you just sit around, get good grades, and have little to no success anywhere else. I used to be one of those so-called nerds, and obviously I still act like such with my glasses, but that's just a human feature at this point. In the case of being a nerd, we often associate it with introverts and how well they distance themselves from one point here to another point here. In this story with Ellie, I learned that I can be greater than a nerd. With my high school life coming full swing halfway into the school year, I learned that there's a special kind of ingredient that comes with having this time. Showing how much I've learned in this experience is one thing, but talking about it is another. And in the case of just making more events and more time with people, this girl Ellie, as sweet as she was, made it difficult to get around these plans. We tried going to the mall this one time, and then my family came over. I love my family, and they would honestly make fun of me for making such a video like this. But I'm going to be blunt, and I'm going to be honest. Planning stuff with people, including people that you usually see, your family, will not be worth it in the long run. Why do we plan things with people? We want to get them to the point where we can have an experience with them, similar to me with this girl, Ellie. I liked her a lot. She was super fun, sweet, and caring. But I couldn't focus because of the fact that my family was there. This story was less about the time that was involved. And looking at it from a whole different perspective, almost half a year later, it's crazy to me then that I've learned so much about the presence and how to be present in the moment. Like a date, you should be up in the open. You should be willing to do things that you are proud of and you love. And that's why I feel like having this experience in mind really shifted the way I think about such events. I didn't want to push my family away, but in the end, it made it hard because I couldn't communicate well, and overall the whole date kinda was sour. Half a year later, I still think about that event. And while I still go to school, I learned that there's a huge dichotomy shift with how we plan things. With how the 2020s decade has been coming apart, I feel that with communication as well as Hangouts, there's something so pivotal about it. We don't see this as often. We always see people grouped together, but it's never about a time or a place. People are busy, I get that, but that is one of the stupidest fucking excuses I will ever see. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with this video. And when moving into the next story from these 3 stories I want to tell, it is such a damn annoying presence to not be able to see what we're getting done. I started with this story with Ellie because I feel as though it was a good starting point about why I find planning things with people so infuriating. This next story is rather recent. I went over to a football game at the school I go to. It was one where I was expected to meet with quite a lot of people, but I, once again, had other plans in the meantime. I planned to bring in other people that I thought would come over because they said they were free. It was around Friday in the afternoon. I got them over, and then they told me they weren't. They told me that they weren't free, and that's okay. But when I think about this experience in the grander scope of things, it irritates me. It irritates me, and it most likely irritates you when you have something planned and you just don't get anything or anywhere with it across. It's annoying because we have our precious time, our precious area of life that we need to get done, and it's just simply ignored. And you probably have been in that position before, whether you are the person who calls to say you're busy or someone that is the one hanging off the tree. Back to the story, I was still able to meet up with this girl we'll call Regina, and she was once again another sweet and college girl that I feel very affectionate towards. And yet, I didn't have fun. This experience, I did not have fun because I lacked both the people I planned to bring along with, as well as just the presence. Can you see a theme here we're trying to build on? In the wake of just having more experiences with people, presence is the single most important thing. Everything you do is in the present moment. Don't think too hard about it. It's not an illusion between the past and the future. Don't be dumb and try to think way ahead or way in the past. It's all about the now. And the single easiest action step for you, for those watching, is to take a breath in and let it out. Take a breath in and feel the space around you. In the case of having a more presentation-like style, getting more people along with what you want to tell is important, especially with how you're going to plan things. Once again, we plan events so that we could have more people involved in our lives. We want to create these experiences that will challenge us, make us better people, and overall have something that's fun. As I get older, the meaning of life is just to simply have fun. I may sound young, and I am, but I truly, truly believe that belief that life in itself is supposed to be fun will never fucking change. It will stay the same. It's the same shit that we go through every single day. And I feel with this video in mind that there's something so beautiful and passionate with life the moment we start treating it as something fun. And when you lose the people that you are planning to bring over, like get them over with you with certain plans, it becomes a hassle, it becomes a struggle. And it's a damn shame that we have to go through this every single time. And even if all things go well, which I pray whenever you do a next group hangout and group setting, I pray that it will continue to go well. Because after all, it is your enjoyment, and that's what I want to leave off with this second story. But this isn't the end. We still have a third and final story, which is rather recent. This one just came a few days ago, and this is what inspired the making of this video. I went out and had a good time overall in the past week through my school life, as well as just improving on my own reading and writing skills. As an author, I feel very fulfilled and understood in this path. If you want to see more of my books, you can check them in the top link of the description. But getting back to the story, I feel that it's a huge shift from how things were before. This year, I've made it clear that I want to talk with more people. I want to make more YouTube videos on this channel so I could talk about communication skills, open people up to a greater experience, and how to have fun with both guys and especially girls. Despite my nerdy appearance, yes, I care about girls. I care about who I want to be with, how certain dates go, and who I'm going to end up with. And it's a good thing to think about, especially this young, because I have these experiences to have. I don't want anything long term, but I do want to have these short term experiences that, like I said earlier, relate to being fun. And with this third story, I planned on having a group of guys to hang out close together, and then we neatly get a movie night going. It's good to spend time with girls, but it's also good to spend time with your boys. And it's great in itself because you get a nice balance of the two. If you're similar to me, a guy who truly wants to gain these experiences, but you don't want to do something clearly illegal or bad. And the biggest pressure in all of this is always parents. When I tried getting these guys for the movie night, only one of them showed up, simply because he lived nearby to my house. But another excuse was the fact of parents. This completely fell apart once again when I was invited to go to my buddy Omar's place, in which I'm supposed to help him with his stuff. However, with the ideal of parents and shaking hands, it's weak. You want to make your own decision in your own stories. And that's what I feel like, especially when you're at a young age like me. You should start standing up for what you want to do and get it done anyways. I want to hang out with you as friends. I want to hang out and plan certain things. I write them down on my phone and I use it to tell what I want. But that's the sad news. When I planned another event to backhand off this sort of sad demeanor I had going on, it was depressing, but I bounced back because I was able to have more friends. A recent saying I've been using for these past few days is the saying that even when all things go wrong, there will always be more people. No matter how life goes, people will challenge you and make us better and worse. The worst thing you could possibly be, I'm telling you, and this is one I want to advise to so many damn high school students, is the fact that loneliness is worse than every single thing in the world. Being a drunk alcoholic, being abusive, being every type of condition is better than being lonely. Loneliness is shit. It feels like a pain and a stab in the chest. It hurts. And it's so irritating that I feel the need to tell people to not be lonely. And it's a huge loneliness epidemic, not just involving people of introverted status, but also everyone in the world. So that's why I feel with this third story, the one I'm the most passionate about, it hurts me the most because I planned this upcoming event. I planned something this huge just to go to the mall and just walk around. I planned this with many of my guy friends as well as many of my female friends. And in this point, I've only had one friend come over. One single guy. Guy's amazing. I love his presence and we love reading books. But still, I feel this is important and it ties back to the loneliness aspect because so many of them simply couldn't get the ride. And I get it. Many of us don't drive. Many of us have parents to talk to, and it's hard to negotiate with them. But even as a girl, and especially as a guy, I want you to think more on the lines of what you can do. Be focused on what you want to do. And if you have a place to go to, if someone is inviting you to do something fun, which never happens, picture yourself as the lonely guy or the lonely girl. You are never invited anywhere, you don't have friends, and it feels like shit. But the moment someone opens the door, someone grabs you over and says, hey, let's go over and do something fun. Go for it. Go do that thing if you genuinely find it fun. Going back to story 2, I hated the football game. I hated it because I didn't give two shits about it. And that's why I want to focus so badly here. I want you to think more like tenaciously aggressive about what you want to get done. Go hang out with people because of the social environment you get across. And this mall story, again, is one that I feel firm and passionate about because the decline, why so many people change the minds of it, and how well I think about it. So there's this one girl in this story that I feel I need to address. We'll call her Mickey. Mickey. Yeah, we'll call her Mickey. She's super sweet. Again, like the previous girls in the examples, but I only know her from a surface level basis. Nothing personal like Ellie at the start of this video, but in the case of just inviting her over to this mall idea because it was fun, she told me that she would go and she'd love to have a ride, but the moment more and more people dropped out, she didn't want to go, which is weird because I'm still there and I'm like, I'm an option. But it also opened up my eyes on people that you want to experience with. Consider people you want to hang out with more. These people not only should have that mutual feeling, but they should also be understanding of your basis. Don't be like Mickey, someone who fell out of this not because they want to hang out with you, but they only just want to hang out with their friends because you're part of it. You're the reason you're getting this group together, and they're not confident enough to get them with the plan. They're not confident enough to move this story. I feel that if we do more with what we can do, and the fact that no one in itself cares what we do, not even our parents, then we'll have more experiences that we find fun. If we get the people that we truly think are absolutely fantastic, in every case of the word, they are fun, they are frantic, and they're just amazing people to be around, then find ways to hang out with them more. You don't want to spend your entire life devoted to these people, but we need more friends. And as the saying goes, even when all things go wrong, there will be more people. And like my buddy, his name is Fabian, by the way, I truly, truly loved how much time we were able to spend together. It just feels so brotherly. It feels like this mutual connection of us loving to read books. And I feel that if we get to this point, no matter if you're a guy or a girl, I'm telling you, there will be a beautiful experience in the tunnel down below. So why do we hang out with people again? Outside of our own experiences, we need to have these third-party environments. I watched a video back in the summer talking about how third-party places like libraries, homes, and the mall are becoming less and less because we have an online space to do it. And you're learning innocuous slangs, words, and different things about my story. In the case of just taking this to a higher level plane, I do know that there's a feeling that comes with having more of this. A feeling that comes with having more friends and more experiences to go out. Everyone wants it, but no one wants to admit it. No one wants to admit it because it comes off as needy. I don't want you to be needy. That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video. Do not be needy. You hang out with friends because it's fun. You find it fun, you have the time, and you're doing something purposeful. We need to have more social connections, and the more we have people surrounding us, the better our lives just boost. For guys, for girls, it doesn't matter. Get those experiences with those kinds of people, and you'll live a more fulfilling life than ever before. With each of the 3 stories, I want you to not only take in the fun you get from someone personal, but to have fun yourself. Make sure you have the time to stand up for whatever opposition is in your way, and continue to drive home what you want in this life. I hope you can enjoy today's video. It's a lot more different than most of my own, but I felt the need to talk about this, especially after the experience I had in this past week. If you want help to talk with people as well as just get better communication skills so you can get the friends you want, then check out my Instagram down below. If you want more knowledge and just a way to seek out information of any kind of variety, check out my books down below. And until next time, keep on talking, keep on working, and take care.